going on, Jerome's? So happy Black Friday, happy day after Thanksgiving. It's so weird, us Americans, especially us ugly Americans, we indulge in Thanksgiving hardcore, but the rest of the world just goes on, and it's normal Thursday. So happy day after Thanksgiving for my American brethren. Happy, Friday, for the British folk who, had normal Thursday, had some NFL games late in the evening, had some mushy peas, I don't know. Whole lot of things. By the way, Liverpool taking down Man City this weekend. No problem. No big deal. Also, no big deal is Dolly friggin' Parton, man. Stole the show. I mean, the Commies and the Cowboys game was whatever, but Dolly Parton at 77 friggin' years old. Woo! One time. More super talented, super entrepreneurial, came up from humble beginnings. She is the American dream. She absolutely is inspiring. She absolutely gets it done, and I love Dolly Parton, man. American treasure. So glad that she was showcased at the halftime show, which there's only 3 good halftime shows in football history. Prince, obviously, Dolly, and Creed. Sucks that two or three of them were in Dallas, or Arlington, or whatever, man. But Dolly Parton is awesome. Also awesome is, so we're starting a new thing where we generally have our large family Thanksgiving the weekend before actual Thanksgiving. So on actual Thursday Thanksgiving, we have like a small gathering of very close immediate family, and everyone sort of turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing it out by then. So we did up a lot of non-traditional items. So we did up a lasagna, which is divine. We did up some mac and cheese, some green beans. So I had a brisket flat in the freezer, so we thawed that and diced it up like it was burnt ends. And then we smoked some turkey legs like it was a Renaissance fair. Weird Thanksgiving, highly recommend. Highly recommend, man. Also, I recommend that the Lions stop playing when the moon is like waxing or whatever. So Jay Kuda, I have some bad news for Lions. He put this up before the game. Since the AFL-NFL merger, they're 0-12 on Thanksgiving when the moon is in a waxing gibbous phase. Tomorrow is a waxing gibbous, and now they're 0-13. And I'm not saying that the Packers won. I'm saying that the Lions lost. And I know some people are like clutching their pearls. Oh, but that means the Packers are in contention. Anyone with 2 eyeballs and 2 brain cells can tell that actually 1 eyeball, 1 brain cell could tell that the Packers are frauds, almost as big of frauds as the Lions, and they will fall flat on their ass. So I ain't sweating it. I ain't worried about that. But bro, so not only do the Vikings have the Pastronaut and NASA on our side, we got the moon. So how can we lose? How can we lose, baby? That's right. But also, how can the Commies lose so badly? It's rough, man. But, Ron Rivera is going to get fired. Magic Johnson cannot be happy. My Michigan State brethren. That's right. But the Cowboys put the bang thing on the Commies. And Deron Bland, the pride of Fresno State, setting the single-season NFL record for pick sixes with 5. It's just amazing. How do people just keep ending up throwing at him? And also, how do they not tackle him? It's insane, man, but one of the better stories in the league, even though he's a stupid Dallas Cowboy, but, the aforementioned Pastronaut. So Josh Dobbs talked about how the Vikings unfortunately gave it away against the Broncos. They had 3 turnovers that did not get any of their own, so they clearly lost. But Josh Dobbs said this, Will Raggets, ESPN Go, Sports Illustrated Go. Josh Dobbs, quote, "At the end of the day, if we take care of the football, we know it's a different outcome in Denver." It took a aeronautical engineering degree from Rocky Top to come up with that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that, hey, stop giving the football to them, take away the football from them, and we will win. That's right, man. That's right. Also, it's pretty stark split when the Vikings win or at least break even in the turnover department. Alec Lewis, the Athletic, Go. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell referenced this today, but I thought it was fascinating. Team is 16-0 since he arrived when it wins or breaks even in turnover margin. Team is 3-9 since he arrived when it loses turnover margin. So that's basically what it comes down to. I mean, football is a very simple game at times, and if you give away the football, aka ending your possession and giving the opponent generally very good field position, you're going to tend to not win. All right, so Vikings, they just got to cut down on the fumbles, and defense has been good. Defense has room to get better, and takeaways is certainly a department there. But of course, we know that there's a little bit of puck luck when that is involved. But what isn't lucky is the Vikings turnaround on defense. So last year, they were 31st in the league in yards allowed. They were ass. Thank you. I mean, they did make a couple of timely plays at the end of the games last year, but it's not as good as this year, man. And Brian Flores needs to be commended for the job that he's done, again, largely with the same personnel as last year. Alec Lewis again. The Vikings defense is 9th in DVOA, 9th. All right, so it's pretty damn good in terms of the analytics for Football Outsiders, or formerly Football Outsiders. You know what I mean? What Flores has done, and it is one of the more underrated storylines in the NFL, but of course the Vikings are never going to get the attention or time of day. Brian Flores does deserve a second crack at being a head coach, but if he sticks around for another year, if the right situation doesn't arise, I'm all for it, man. I absolutely love me some Coach Flo. Also, I love that the Vikings finally have themselves a franchise left tackle. PFF Vikings, Christian Darrisaw, highest graded offensive tackle in the NFL this season, 86.1. So, seems pretty good. Again, not only left tackles, but right tackles as well. So, Darrisaw is a very rare combination of size, strength, speed, agility, and also demeanor. I feel like Darrisaw, he doesn't get rattled out there. So guys like Trent Williams, I mean, Darrisaw is frequently compared to Trent Williams, both given the size, strength, and speed and quickness. But as we've seen, Trent Williams can lose his temper. And that's not always a good thing out there on the field. And Darrisaw is just an absolute rock. He's amazing in the run game. He's obviously great in pass protection. So, the Vikings, Rick Spielman obviously gets a lot of flack from Vikings fans. But Darrisaw, Justin Jefferson, did pretty okay on a couple of those picks. Next. Speaking of one of those Rick Spielman picks that worked out, Danielle Hunter, a Vikes fan page, the Vikings are nominating Danielle Hunter as their Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award nominee. So it's exactly what it sounds like. Who's a good sport? Like, who's not dirty? I don't think Kareem Jackson is winning this award. Kramer expanded upon it. Danielle Hunter has 86.5 sacks, 118 games, yet somehow no roughing the passer penalties or league fines. So Danielle Hunter, great player, good guy, plays a clean game. It's one of the big reasons why pay Danielle. Not only is he a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, rightfully so, he's also firmly in his prime. He's also amazing. Also, he's a good teammate, and also he's clean. There you go. Pro Football Talk. That's not a thermos. So Florio, we always give a lot of flack because he's one of those self-loathing Vikings fans who are always under the guise of, I'm just being realistic, please. Child, please. But in terms of the power rankings, this is the NFC. Eagles, sure. Niners, yeesh. Lions, not anymore. Cowboys, they're okay. Seahawks, 5. Vikings, 6. Now, there is not a single simulation or iteration or version of this world where the Seahawks are better than the Vikings. I'm sorry. It's just not true. All right. So I think that if there's going to be a team, whether it's the Cowboys, the Seahawks, or the Vikings who fall out of the wild card race, I think it's going to be the Seahawks. So somehow, some way, if the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers or the Rams or the Falcons somehow sack up and claw their way back into the wild card, I think it's going to be Seattle that misses. I'm not believing what they're putting down. I just aren't. I'm not. That's not English. So it was, the Vikings not getting the time of day. Tale as old as time. Don't worry the least. So the Vikings will get back and say. Also, speaking of back, is Jordan Addison, who, missed it. There you go. So Jordan Addison fell to number 23 overall, was the fourth of 4 wide receivers taken in the first round, 4 straight picks, but he's been an absolute steal for the Vikings. And he's done great work in the absence of Justin Jefferson, and just amazing. Just imagine what Addison is going to do once he's not getting cornerback 1 attention once JJ is back in the lineup. But Jeff Diamond, former Vikings GM actually, over at the 33rd team, put together his list of draft steals. Addison is on there. CJ Stroud is at 2. Where, I mean, CJ, you got to be pretty damn good to be considered a draft steal at number 2. That's exactly what CJ Stroud is doing, though. JPJ, first pick in the second round, because remember the Dolphins didn't have a first. But, I mean, feel like a lot of people overthought JPJ, and yeah, he's a little bit clingy. Yes, he doesn't check all the boxes physicality wise, but he's an excellent corner. Sam Laporta, who saved many of fantasy seasons. Laporta's getting it done. Brian Branch is a guy that I loved, and the fact that he fell to 45 is just a travesty. And also, I hate that he ended up with the Lions. Mims, yes. Tank Dell, definitely. Again, another guy who's going to save your fantasy team. Tank Dell. Byron Young has been a stud. Devin Akane, when he's healthy, is great. Puka Nacua, obviously, even though Jaron Hall made him at BYU. Jarrett Patterson is getting it done, the pride of Notre Dame. Brandon Aubrey, whatever. Yeah, speaking of Notre Dame, it was like, oh, he played soccer. Cool. Then Ivan Pace Jr., of course, undrafted. Certainly a steal. And also, yeah, I like that some fans don't want to give Kwesi credit for Ivan Pace Jr. I mean, landing him as a UDFA when he had, clearly had high demand over just picking him in the 7th round, I mean, that took talent. It does. There you go. But that is it. Amazing Thanksgiving. Enjoy Black Friday shopping if you're getting out and getting after it. Also, I've invested interest for the Jets to upset the Dolphins today, so that would be kind of nice. There you go. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.